Today's plan was a simple one, a short flight from Gloucester over to Turweston. It's only about 30 minutes away, and although I've flown there before, I've never made a video of it for the channel. But shortly after departure, it became clear that today's flight wasn't going to go quite to plan. I'm Dale, and this is Left Seat Culture, a channel about flying, gear and the culture of aviation. Most of what I cover is general aviation, but hopefully it's of interest to all pilots, whatever you fly.
Trim is set for takeoff, roll section is rich, mixture is rich, carpet is gold, primer is locked and confirmed, magneto's are on both and confirmed, fuel is on both and sufficient for our needs, flaps are up and visually confirmed.
Golf Echo Whiskey, crossing Golf X-ray Whiskey, runway 09, clear touch and go, surface wind 1606.
Controls.
Clear the touch and go, Golf X-ray Whiskey.
Heat not required. I turn on altitude. Good.
Golf X-ray Whiskey, go around us again, go around now, acknowledge. Go around, Golf X-ray Whiskey. Golf Oscar Golf, are you ready?
Hey, Sam.
Golf Oscar Golf, 5 Charlie 1, line up and wait 1809, number 2 for departure.
Oh, Charlie 1, line up and wait 09, ready for departure.
Golf Oscar Golf, traffic on the climb out is single technical routing to the north, left and northeast, runway 09, clear for takeoff, surface wind 1607.
Runway 09, clear for takeoff, Golf Oscar Golf.
All Victor uniform, holding point Charlie 1, ready for departure.
Golf X-ray Whiskey, A4. Golf Delta X-ray, give way to the Cherokee on taxiway Delta, they'll be crossing ahead of you into taxiway hotel.
He's alive.
Give way to the Cherokee Golf Delta X-ray. Golf Victor uniform, line up and wait 1809, and number 2 for departure.
Line up and wait runway 09 and number 2 for departure, go Victor uniform.
So finally, we've had a bit of good weather here in the UK, and I needed to fly Golf Bravo Sierra Golf to stay current, and the weather initially looked kind of ideal for just a short trip. Turweston seemed like a good choice, close enough for a relaxed flight and somewhere I hadn't featured on the channel before. And at around 9 AM I called Turweston for PPR, and they mentioned that the cloud was fairly low at the time, but because I wasn't planning to arrive until around 11 AM, the morning was bright with clear skies and sunshine, and I expected the cloud layer would probably have burnt off. And of course, if it didn't look right en route, turning back was always an option.
Golf Oscar Golf, contact approach 128.555.
Contact approach 128.555, Golf Oscar Golf.
559 Gloucester approach, basic service.
Gloucester approach, Golf Bravo Sierra Golf, request basic service.
Golf Bravo Sierra Golf, Gloucester approach, basic service, report 10 miles to the northeast.
Basic service, report 10 miles to the northeast, Golf Oscar Golf.
However, after departing Gloucester at just after 10:30, it became clear fairly quickly that things weren't improving. Looking out towards the east, you could see the low-level cloud was blanketing the ground, stretching for miles with no obvious gaps. There was also very little wind, so the cloud layer wasn't really moving. And with the temperatures cooler than forecast, it looked like the expected burn-off was going to be significantly delayed. And at that point, I started to assume that conditions at Turweston were probably very similar. One option would have been to climb up to 3,000 or 4,000 feet and fly above that cloud layer. But the challenge with that approach is that you're then relying on there being a hole to descend through at the destination. With a solid looking cloud layer and no obvious gaps, that wasn't something I was particularly keen to rely on. Weather judgment is something pilots keep improving throughout their flying. And I recently completed part 1 of the weather school training, and it's been really useful for thinking more carefully about situations like this. So instead of pressing on and hoping conditions improved, I just decided to keep the flight a local one.
Golf Oscar Golf, due to weather I think I have to change my plans. Can I just stay on frequency for a local flight please?
Golf Oscar Golf, roger, and report ready for rejoin.
Okay, Golf Oscar Golf.
Golf Whiskey Alpha at the intermediate fix.
So the plan changed slightly. I flew out towards Pershore and then down towards the Malverns before returning back to Gloucester via Tewkesbury. Even though it wasn't the cross country I originally planned, it was still a really nice morning to be in the air, especially after the run of grey weather we've had recently. As you can see in this video, even though the sun is shining, we still are suffering a little bit from the ongoing flooding here in the West Midlands with all the rain we've been having. But hopefully spring brings along nicer weather and better flying conditions. So whilst you enjoy the Gloucestershire countryside, I'll take this opportunity to mention that at the time of doing this video in March 2026, there are some shares in Golf Bravo Sierra Golf becoming available. So if you're based near Gloucester, interested in flying a Cessna 172, then reach out and I can put you in contact with the relevant people. Back at Gloucester, I also decided to take the opportunity to do a flapless landing on Runway 09. And there were two reasons for that. Firstly, it's simply a good exercise to practice from time to time. Flapless landings mean you generally approach a little faster and the landing roll will be longer, so it's useful to stay familiar with the technique. The second reason is quite practical for Runway 09 at Gloucester. The taxiway exit is right near the end of the runway, so touching down slightly further along the runway can actually make the taxi a little easier. So not quite the flight I originally had in mind, but that's fairly typical in general aviation. Sometimes the plan changes and that's perfectly fine. In this case, it still meant getting Golf Bravo Sierra Golf airborne, staying current and enjoying some sunshine on a day when we haven't seen much of it lately. If you had a similar experience, please share your stories below. I'd love to hear them. Also, if you found this video useful, give it a like and subscribe to Left Seat Culture for more GA insights and flying tips. And if you want to carry on the conversation, consider joining the Discord group. The link is in the description below. I look forward to seeing you there.